Ever wonder what President Biden's staff does while he's speaking with reporters? Well, it seems some actually mute him or turn off the TV entirely because they are so afraid that he will make a gaffe or veer off message. Hey, I would be too. One staffer telling Politico, I know people who habitually don't watch it live for that reason. And here are some of the president's cringeworthy moments from just the last 24 hours.
And by the way, of course, I sleep with an NEA member every night, same one. Now, I'm supposed to stop and walk out of the room here. I'm going to stop, but with your permission, I'm going to walk into the room because I want to say hello to all of you. Thank you.
Oh. I mean, Emily, you could hardly blame them for wanting to mute that, but I can't imagine being in, let's say, the press secretary's office and muting my boss. I want to know who these staffers are. Is this the comm shop? Is it the press shop? Is it the chief of staff's office? I mean, boy.
Right, and we were talking just a moment ago about where did this leak come from? Reports talk about people admitting to whom? Who is putting this out there in the media and why? And I think that's the bigger question because, of course, we all put him on mute. But I think the question is, why are we learning that his staffers are? Sorry, did I say that out loud?
For some of us, it's our job to watch.
You have to put me on mute now.
No wonder
I'm on mute. But that's interesting. So we should come clean and be transparent. When we're together on the couch, you've got to see the commercials. It gets a little crazy. And we do go down all these different avenues and talk about this stuff. You've been in a White House. Leaking is not a good thing. Obama went after his. Like, his staff was told.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But we haven't had leakers in the Biden White House until just recently. It's like all of a sudden everything's crumbling and they're leaking. Also, now I know I don't hear noise coming out of Emily's office. She's muting President Biden all day. I don't blame you. Harris, I'm going to play the soundbite and get your thoughts. Here are two recent Biden gaffes, again, within the last 48 hours. I think.
You know, looks like a tornado, they don't call them that anymore, that hit the crops and wetlands in the middle of the country. Have zero emissions, net emissions by 2050. By 2020, make sure all our electricity is zero emissions.
So retroactively, we are going to enforce emissions. We're going to enforce it for 2020.
Can't wait to see how we do that.
Yeah, I mean, flashback in time, if we're doing that, there are a few years, like when I met my husband and we were dating. Can we go back to those years? Like, does he have a transporter machine? Look, we laugh about this stuff, but it is somebody's job to pull him aside and to get him ready for the next one. So is that the same type of guidance that he's getting or ruling behind the scenes? Like, you're going to do it this way when he says things like, I've been instructed to do it this way. I've been told I can't take questions. I mean, it's someone's job to corral him when he says these things that are nonsensical, not factual, and are gaffes that are an important topic. But then again, whose job is it to make sure that it doesn't happen again? And if they're reining him in, causing him to make more by saying, oh, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. Oh, let me start off with Norah O'Donnell at NBC because that's what they told me to do. I mean, that's not helpful either.
Yeah, not helpful at all. And we know Jen Psaki, KT, does not like him taking Freewheeling QA. She's told David Axelrod that. And you can hardly blame her because when he does do Freewheeling QA, we get statements like it's highly unlikely the Taliban will take over. Al-Qaeda is gone out of Afghanistan. They're not. None of our allies are criticizing us. Oh, wait, they are. It's just blatant lies, mistruths. I don't know if it's incompetence or what, but I understand not wanting him to take the questions.
You know, I've known him for 45 years, since I was a young aide in the White House Situation Room, a young aide to Henry Kissinger in the Nixon administration, and Joe Biden's failing. I mean, it's obvious to anybody who's known him. It's obvious to his own staff. It's obvious to the people immediately behind him. And I think that the point of why are they leaking? Why all of a sudden are there leaks coming out of this White House? I think they all understand that President Biden is not going to make the full term. And if he does make the full term, he's sure as heck not going to run for re-election. And so I think they're positioning themselves and they're positioning him so that either right before or right after the 2022 election, I don't think he'll resign, because then who do you get? You know, the cackler in chief. But I think that what he'll do is say, I'm not going to run for re-election. He'll be like LBJ during Vietnam. He'll say, I'm not going to run for re-election. And then the Democrats can start in 2022 and 3 fielding a whole group of people they think will be able to win.
So not Kamala Harris.
Not the cackler in chief. That was really well said, KT. That's the first time I've heard that one.